Very latest.
Well, Jeff, I've been in touch with the U.S. District Attorney, Judge Steve Jones' staff throughout the day and monitoring online court records. But so far, Judge Jones has not released his ruling for this case. I'm told he is still in his chambers and still writing his order. And based off arguments made in his courtroom yesterday, this could impact ballots across the entire state of Georgia. The Georgia Democratic Party filed the lawsuit on Sunday, and Judge Jones heard 2 hours of arguments from lawyers Tuesday. The plaintiffs are asking Jones to consider 2 items. First, early Tuesday morning, another judge told Gwinnett County to go back and re-examine rejected absentee ballots. Stacey Abrams' campaign wants that order to now be applied across the entire state. They also asked the judge to tell counties to accept out-of-county ballots and count the statewide election items on those ballots, such as the governor's race. This impacts ballots where a voter was registered in Georgia but went to a polling place in the wrong county and they cast a provisional ballot there. Jones declined yesterday to push back the deadline for counties to certify their election results. So the deadline for counties to certify results came and went at 5 p.m. on Tuesday. I confirmed this afternoon with the Secretary of State's office every county except Gwinnett has certified its election results. Gwinnett County's election board is following a court order to review its absentee ballots. That pushed back their certification deadline. A spokesman with the county tells me they plan to certify tomorrow at 5 p.m. Jeff.